Ah! Forgot I clicked record then for a second. Hi guys, and welcome back to my tutorials on pen and ink with your boy, Inky Squid. In the last episode we just did some time lapse because I was feeling a bit under the weather, which I hope you guys enjoyed. But today we're going to knuckle down and learn some stuff. In the last episode I did tell you that I was going to be doing something about atmospheric perspective, so that's what we're going to be doing. I think it helps create more like a sense of realism to the picture, and yeah, just creates a more dynamic, easily readable image. So if I jump on Photoshop, I'm going to learn you guys some stuff. Okay, so what is atmospheric perspective? Just go on Wikipedia, it's the best way to start. Aerial perspective or atmospheric perspective refers to the effect the atmosphere has on an appearance of an object as it is viewed from a distance. As the distance between an object and a viewer increases, the contrast between the object and its background decreases, and the contrast of any markings or details within the object also decreases. The colours of the object also become less saturated and shift towards the background, which is usually blue, but under certain conditions may be some other colours. For example, sunrise or sunset, distant colours may shift towards red. Okay, so that is the general principle there. So I have brought up on Photoshop this image here. Let me just increase the scene there. Okay, so this is a weaker atmospheric pressure, and that is a stronger atmospheric pressure. So there is more stuff in the way as far as atmosphere, you know, oxygen, moisture in the air, so therefore objects seem to become fainter quicker. Okay, so if I get out my eyedropper tool here, you can see that the darks of this, the stronger colours here, which is like a green, and then is very contrasted to the brights here, so there is a giant contrast the closer the image is. As you see, it gets lighter, not much variance in the two images, and then the same object further away, very little, to the point where it's almost indistinguishable between the fog-like background. This has got a stronger atmospheric perspective, so again, you know, you've got the contrast there, but it looks foggy. You know, it looks like it's in fog, and that's the principle really. In fog, you don't see as much the further on you go. So yeah, saying that, we move on to this one. This is sort of an application in real world. This is a photograph of something, and you've got the contrast here, which is very darks to very light greens around here. And as you go on further, you can presume that this grassland and trees here is going to be similar to these in the background, but because of atmospheric perspective, it gets duller. So you've got the high contrast here and darker colours, the very faint hues around here, the very subtle changes, and obviously the further you go on, you know, it's almost just disappeared into the background here. You know, the same mountains just got lighter and they fade off, and that's because, as I say, the moisture in the air. Now we're doing underwater pictures at the moment while I'm trying to replicate an underwater scene. So I picked this one up, and you can see the vanishing of the objects in question, you know, reduces very quickly. It dissipates out into the abyss there. So, but again, the same rules still apply. It's just a thicker atmosphere. You know, we're talking about water now, not just oxygen, you know, and the air in general. So again, we've got very light here to very darks here, but then there's a huge drop off as you go further down, and it's almost, you can see the difference between the lights and the darks here, and then obviously it's the blue, which is sort of the base colour of the sea there with the light. So I thought that was interesting. That's something that I've had to use to you know, to make it feel like it's more underwater than it perhaps would be otherwise. So I've done some pictures before. I do Photoshop paintings as well. So this is a picture that I'd done. Again, I've tried to use very darks and very brights, high contrasted colours in the foreground, and obviously in the distance here it's less so. And then obviously right at the end there, you obviously got your mountain there and the sky there. There is not much difference in that object to the sky there. And I've tried to, you can see it better actually if I just take out the colour. You know, you've got very contrasted colours here, darker tones, you know, the water here. You've got your mid-ground here, very subtle changes, and then obviously this is just very faint here. So this gradient here just goes off into the distance. That's what I've tried to do with my ink stuff here. So very, very different. Obviously we're talking about hatching and things like that. But again, I've tried to use that same principle. So here you can see it's very black and very white. And then as I've moved further, I've tried to reduce the detail and reduce the tonal range, you know, to just sort of almost a grey at a distance, you know, and not much detail. So yeah, that's basically a summary. I've been told to keep these quick because people get bored pretty quick. So that's basically that fundamental really. You can look at images online and just see, you know, how colours transfer the further away they are. Red's are really unusual colours to look at a distance. It sort of retains a lot of its colour quite far, but things like, you know, blues, greens, and, you know, things like that, they reduce right down. So yeah, interesting. There's a book that I'll put up on the screen now. I think it's called Colour and Light. I suggest you go look at it. I'll put a link in the description of that book and where to get it from. But it's fascinating and tells you about colour theory and all that good stuff. Because though we're working in black and white, it's all values, and a good understanding of colour theory is important when you want to execute a black and white image such as this. Okay, so quick tutorial out of the way. We're going to crack on with some more work, and I'm going to be focusing on more of the background today. Less detail, more faint lines, and you'll see why I do that when the image is complete. So enjoy. Okay guys, that's me done for the day. My battery ran out of my camera, so that's always a good time to stop. I did do another half an hour or so, just tightening it up, did the left side a little bit more, which you can see in the images. I think using less detail sort of fakes the idea of that atmospheric perspective that we were talking about, and just pushes it right back. You do compromise on detail and things, but you know, overall the image will look better. Okay guys, so again, InkySquid87 on Instagram if you want to follow me, and I'll like some images and that if you want to send them to me. Yeah, take it easy. Bye.